is the Kevin Sutton Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know by now, today is Wrestling Wednesdays, my brothers and sisters. And I've talked to the gods in the heavens up above, and they told me you exit to the left and you exit to the right, and it's time to get crazy. Are you ready for Wrestling Wednesdays, baby?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I'm feeling it down in my soul. I got my tighty-whitey underoos on, my long knee-high socks, and my tank top and flip-flops, and I'm ready to get crazy, brother.
Yo.
Doctah Pheel, are you ready to get crazy with me?
Okay.
Mayra, are you ready to get crazy
The ladies
with
are
the
ready.
ladies' point of view?
And it is our honor.
It's not an honor.
It is.
It's a call from above. They let me know it was going to happen a long time ago, sister. And when it happens, it's happening on this day that we have established for years, Wrestling Wednesday.
And it was distinct honor to welcome Mr. Seth Rollins to the Kevin Sutton Show.
Say it
Welcome,
one more time.
Mr. Seth Rollins.
Oh, my
No,
goodness.
don't you like
Hey,
that
guys, what's
intro?
up?
See, we get hyped up.
I am feeling it. I am feeling
Yeah,
it.
you guys are real hyped.
He's panting. He's panting.
Oh, you can't believe it, brother. You cannot believe it. I'm sweating. It's dripping. I'm bouncing off the chairs in here, and I'm ready to jump off the top of the microphone stand and make this happen.
Well, let's get it started.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you, and you've got a huge event coming up this weekend. Isn't that Money in the Bank?
Money in the Bank this Sunday, Las Vegas, first wrestling event inside the T-Mobile Arena. Main event, challenging for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Roman Reigns. It's WrestleMania this summer.
Now, technically, you never lost your title. So, if we go back to WrestleMania 31,
Oh, my
if
goodness.
we count your reign, you're at 442 days. Did you know that?
Through that, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
I always carry that on my calculator.
I actually do. I have a Seth Rollins clock.
Yeah. And how are you feeling about this weekend in Vegas? Because you like that Money in the Bank there right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, obviously it's going to be my first match back, so it's going to be interesting to say the least. But it should be a real good time. I'm looking forward to Vegas. They always treat us well, and you know, being in the main event, wrestling for the world title, that's where I belong. So I should feel very comfortable. I imagine it'll be just like old times.
Now, you said this is your first match back, and I know the WWE Network put out the 24 special about you, the documentary about your injury and your recovery and your redesign, rebuild, reclaim. Now,
It's like Trump right there. You got the whole slogan right
He's
there.
got a slogan for himself.
well, you came up with it yourself, correct?
Yeah, that was yes. I mean, I didn't think of it as a slogan when I said it, but it was just kind of you know, first thing that came to mind after I got hurt and you know, started the road to recovery. So, but it seems to work. Everybody seems to dig it. It's on a T-shirt and stuff, so I'm down.
Once it's on a T-shirt, you know it's right. That's what it is.
And I got to tell you, we have Wrestling Wednesday here every week, and you've got a lot of fans here in Orlando who are rooting for your recovery and actually waiting for this Sunday to happen. So you're going to have a lot of folks tuning in. And we also want to ask you, will you be joining the WWE Live here in Orlando at the end of the month?
Yes, I will be in Orlando at WWE Live here at the end of the month. Very excited about that. Orlando's place is close to home for me. You know, as far as I lived in Florida for a few years when I was working in the developmental system and NXT and stuff like that. So I spent a good amount of time in Orlando. So it's always very nice to come back and wrestle in front of those fine folks.
And you're being humble because you are the inaugural NXT champion. Let's not forget that. You know, you can't just be coming back to Orlando.
Champion.
You got to bust into Orlando. You know.
Too many titles. Too many titles.
We're excited because we hope to be sitting with smiles on our face on the 26th when you guys are in town. Well, I will.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll be smiling. You know, the ladies always like the pictures.
Oh, come on.
I do too.
Well,
I do too.
I hope everybody's there smiling and having a good time. You know, I know the city's had not a whole lot to smile about recently, so
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to coming back, hanging out, and hopefully just entertaining and giving people an excuse to smile and laugh a little bit.
Yeah, these events definitely help bring the spirit up of Orlando. You know, everybody there is going to have a great time. I already know it.
And what do you look forward to this year? I mean, I know you've been recouping and building your body back, and you've got the match on Sunday and your WWE Live. What have you got coming up? I mean, is there things that we're looking forward to seeing you? Because there's been a lot of chatter and a lot of people see you as coming up as a headliner and main representative for the WWE, and we're excited for it. So we're rooting.
Yeah. Well, we got just a plethora of live events, world tours all over the place. For me, I'm just excited to get back in the swing. I missed the whole first half of the year, missed WrestleMania, and next year WrestleMania is going to be in Orlando now that we're talking about it. So very stoked to be able to come back and bring that massive event back to the city. It's going to be really awesome to come back and do another Mania in Orlando. So, for me, it's always been about just getting back, getting healthy, and now, kind of making this WrestleMania, making it up for missing last year. I was very heartbroken. I know if you watched the special on the network, you saw, how I felt about missing WrestleMania this year. But it's only going to make next year's WrestleMania that much more special. So it'll be nice to share that with the city of Orlando.
Definitely. Mr. Seth, when you were a kid, this is what I want to know. When you were a kid, did you run around with your underwear all the way pulled up with a tank top on and high leg socks with the high knee socks?
I wore my grandpa's cowboy boots when I was a kid. So I guess that could substitute for the high socks. But certainly I spent a lot of time in the tighty whities when I was a young man.
Because I was wondering, that was my dream of being a wrestler. So I'm like, this is what you do.
He's still wearing the tighty whities right now.
Child. I normally wear boxers, but on Wrestling Wednesdays I wear underwear.
I get it. Yeah, it makes you feel like you're in it. I understand.
So I was just wondering, at that point when you always hear basketball players, I want to be a basketball player my whole life. I played basketball. But when you're a wrestler, there's not the same caliber of things to do at school or, just going down the street hanging out with friends. Wrestling is a different type of development process. So to come up as a kid doing it and think that that's going to be your career and actually get the opportunity to make it happen, where does that place you at right now in life? And
that's great. And you're right. There's not a whole lot of avenues for young kids to learn how to be pro wrestlers. Obviously you can start playing basketball when you're old enough to walk. So for me, I just had my wrestling buddies in my living room, and that's what I did. And then I just was a fan and watched and enjoyed, and me and my friends screwed around in the backyard a little bit and tried some stuff out there. And then for me, I just wanted to get trained and be a wrestler. It's really all I ever wanted to do. So it's one of those things where I was fortunate enough to have people that, had my back, friends and family, and gave me the opportunity to get out and try it and be able to work hard at it. And then, opportunities came, and I'm very fortunate to be able to live my dream. Not to say that I didn't put in a lot of hard work, but I certainly had a lot of help along the way.
And you certainly made the right decisions, along the way professionally, and I commend you for that. I actually have a little ladies' point of view question. I am a big fan of the Divas. I really like that the WWE is finally giving some attention to the women, and I'm loving seeing their talent, stepping up. What do you think? I mean, that's been a huge change to see the ladies finally have their own fan base, have people come out and support them. What's your take on that?
Yeah, we called it the Divas Revolution there for a little while, and then now, we don't even call them Divas anymore. They're WWE superstars too, which is awesome. I think it's been very cool to watch the progression of women's wrestling in the mainstream over the past couple of years or so. Really started down in NXT in Orlando with a group of 4 girls, Charlotte and Becky and Sasha Banks and Bayley, who really started to put women's wrestling on the map in WWE and in the mainstream. And now we got 3 of those girls up on the main roster, and NXT is flooded with a bunch of talent, female talent, and it's really awesome to just see see them push each other and see them push the guys, and that's awesome. It's great. I love it, and I love the girls who are at the forefront and the ones who are, bringing up the rear. Everybody's pushing each other. Iron sharpens iron, and everybody's getting better and having a good time.
Love it.
So it's a beautiful thing to watch the ladies just
That's another shirt.
Every week.
That's another shirt. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah,
there.
I love
You better trademark that.
That's another shirt, man. He's just pushing shirts out all day. I think that's what he actually does. Works at a sweatshop, and he's making shirts all day.
Now, you are correct. I love the fact that the women are elevating the men and the men are elevating the women. And talk about this whole new era stuff that WWE is talking about. If you look at the landscape, it's you, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose. You guys are the top 3 guys right now. You guys came in together, and then you guys are just on Raw together in the ring. Hasn't been since a long time. So like this coming Sunday when you fight Roman Reigns, like what kind of emotions will you guys be portraying to each other? Because you guys are now the pinnacle, the cornerstone of the company, in just a few short years.
Yeah, I mean it's just it's two guys who want nothing but to be the absolute best. Who want to be the guy or the man, whoever you ask. And it's just two guys who are extremely talented, hardworking individuals and want that top spot. And we're going to be pushing each other, and a lot like what I said, with the women pushing the men, and you talked about the new era kind of pushing the older guys and stuff like that. It's an exciting time in WWE and in pro wrestling, and Roman and I are right at the forefront of that. So we take a huge amount of responsibility. At least I do, and I've known him long enough to know that I think he does too. Takes a huge responsibility, to put on matches of a certain caliber when you're at that level. We want to run the show for a reason. We want to be the best for a reason because we think we are. So we're going to go out there and try to top John Cena and AJ Styles and try to top Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Cesaro. We're going to go out there.
Calm down,
and,
Mayra.
with everything we got.
She's all hyped for Cena over here. She's like, oh, well, Cena. Shut up, man. I'm tired of Cena. Cena come up to me, man. I'm going to show him what it is, a suplex and an elbow straight to the head, and let that sucker know that it ain't about that. I'm tired of my wife watching them all on the TV, him all sweaty in his underoos and all that. And then, WWE is the only time I allow my wife to watch men's run around all sweaty and six-packs anytime. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, I don't play that, player. You get what I'm saying? But, because I enjoyed you.
Your wife free, man. She got to do what she wants to do, all right?
Hey, Seth, look.
Free, independent woman.
I know you're a ladies' man, and you got all them six-packs and all that stuff. What I want to know deeply, besides the women's situation, is who was the hardest person you wrestled?
Who was your most difficult opponent?
Yeah, most difficult.
Dude, I mean, I've had challenges of all shapes and sizes. Anytime you step into the ring with 7 foot, 500-pound Big Show, you got your work cut out for you. But I've wrestled some of the hardest hitting individuals, on planet Earth. From a guy that people kind of have forgotten about over the years, who I wrestled in Ring of Honor. His name was Nigel McGuinness.
Oh.
And he hit me harder than almost any person I've ever wrestled in my entire life. To a guy like Roman Reigns, who's just a pure powerhouse. Dean Ambrose, who will twist you into a pretzel. And Cesaro, who's literally one of the strongest human beings, pound for pound, I've ever been in the ring with. So, I mean, there's tons of different challenges, and that's kind of the beauty of pro wrestling is there's all these styles, and just watching them and seeing how they mesh is very interesting.
Yeah, I grew up watching you develop into the wrestler that you are today. Definitely professional athlete. And there's always a talk about wrestling is not real, but the injuries that you guys go through, there is not one moment in my life that I could not say that you guys are beyond some of the most talented athletes in the world. No other sport does what you guys have to do. But Sting to say you were one of the best wrestlers that he's ever wrestled in his life is by far, he said you were one of the most talented people. And, there's interviews and people talking about it. For Sting to say that, man, definitely puts a whole perspective different on my outlook on you. How did that make you feel?
That's very humbling words from a guy who has, literally no reason or incentive to say that. It's not like it's something that he was told to say or had to say to, further his career. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a world champion. He doesn't have to say or do anything or put anybody over like that. So for him to, put me up there in the echelon of guys that he's worked with in his 30-year career, talking about someone like a Ric Flair, for example, that's just incredible to me. It's very humbling to be in that company. And, I'm at a loss for words almost, because there's nothing that I could say that would make that feel real to me.
Now, going off of what Kevin said earlier about your most difficult opponent, Seth, who would you like to wrestle if you haven't wrestled before, living or not living? Who would be a dream match for you that you have not been in the ring with?
Always do that.
Ever.
That's tough.
I mean, my dream match would always be Shawn Michaels. He's a guy Yeah, he's a guy for me. Always has been. So if I ever got an opportunity to coax Sean out of retirement, I mean, he looked pretty good at WrestleMania last year. I'm just saying, we get him back for one more WrestleMania main event. Wouldn't be too bad seeing Seth Rollins or Shawn Michaels.
That would be awesome. That would be really great.
Got my money.
Yeah.
Money in the bank.
He got some money in the bank. Like, how much money? Because we see y'all wrestlers don't get paid as much as y'all supposed to get, player. You know what I'm saying? Y'all supposed to be in the millions to billions. So, you know what I'm saying? When you get 3 friend requests today, you just go ahead and accept them. It would be one from me, Kevin Sutton Show, and Doctah Pheel.
And Mayra with the ladies' point of view.
We will definitely always put the word out about what you do for the sport and how you give back. It's not just John Cena out there doing that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You guys give the kids the world, always making a difference in the community and giving these kids somebody to look up to, and these adults as well. Keep doing what you do, man.
We hope we get to meet you on the 26th. We're looking forward to it.
Be safe. I've already met her. I was at his house behind the bushes in my underwear and my high heel socks. Hey, be good, Seth. We appreciate
Seth Rollins on the Kevin Sutton Show.
Thank you guys for having me, man. Looking forward to coming back to Orlando.
There you go. Lots of luck this weekend. Money in the bank, baby.
And don't forget to download the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, even iHeartRadio. Just search Kevin Sutton Show, and for you iPhone users, just make sure you rate and subscribe. 5 stars, please, baby.